Today's episode of the Get Your Comic On podcast may contain mild spoilers for the movies, shows, comic books, and games that we're discussing. And, if you're lucky, there might be some PG-13 language. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. Hey super friends, my name is Neil and welcome to a brand new episode of the Get Your Comic On podcast where we are here to celebrate Halloween with some of our recommendations for horrors and maybe not so horrors for you to watch as spooky season rolls around at the end of this week. Joining me for this episode is Michael. How you doing?
Hello. Hello,
If
thanks
people
for
are
having
wondering
me.
why I'm leaning, that's because I'm seeing you here and I'm looking at you here at the same time. I'm going to do a lot of that this episode.
Yes, hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, well, no, thank you for coming back. I was like, who can I talk to about horror that will be an interesting conversation? I was like, I know who. I can't, right,
I know
I'm
who.
really struggling. So we're recording this. It's the 29th of October as we're recording this. Firstly, I am struggling with the fact that it's Halloween this week, but then I'm really struggling with the fact it's November next week. Like, how is that even, that should not be a thing. Like, what?
No. I've had people talk to me today about what am I doing for Christmas? What are
Oh,
my
no.
plans for Christmas? And I'm like, it's October.
Yeah,
What are we doing? Well,
exactly.
yeah,
Like
the year's gone by really quick.
the I don't know why I'm pointing as if you can look out the window. There's a B&M just up the road, which for anybody who doesn't live in the UK and doesn't know what that is, it's like a homeware shop, like discount homeware shop. They have had advent calendars since the end of August.
August, that's intense.
I know, which is really bad for me because they have both Kinder and Milky Bar, which are like my two biggest vices. And I'm like, I could just literally
Just shovel them in.
chocolate
Speaking
me.
of B&M, that's where this is from.
Nice. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to go check it out. You're appropriate. I'm on work from home on mine.
Love it.
Yeah. Shout out to my boss in my day job who got me this when COVID struck.
Remember that?
Yeah. Even. Yeah. So our plan this episode, we are going to talk you through a bunch of our recommendations because every year I'm like, we have to push the boat out and do something major for Halloween and have like a season where we're going to do all of our favorite horrors. And then suddenly it's like Halloween and I'm like, oops, it passed me by again. But you will notice in this wonderful like branding around us, we've got the bloody Geico logo, which I brought back, which was on the website this time last year. And, we got a few spooky decorations above us. So, I'm trying to get into the spirit. It is my favorite time of year. Your T-shirt says it all. Yours is better than mine. I'm Scooby-Dooing right now, for those who can see.
I'm Ghostface. And I've also got like a weird melted smiley face.
Nice.
This thing on.
So
Very
if you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to suggest that you stop right now and you head over to YouTube and watch us just so you can see our beautiful faces and our spooky get-up.
Yeah, and decorative mugs.
Yes. Right. I just automatically presume this, but I'm presuming that this is like your favorite time of year as much as it is mine.
Yes. Anytime it is cold, anytime there is movies involved, anytime I can have a theme, I'm there. So I love this time of year.
I'm just like, screw Christmas. And as much as I do enjoy the sun in summer, I'm like, no. Give me September, give me October, give me Halloween. This is my peak time of year.
Yeah, like the minute a pumpkin spice latte is on the horizon, all of a sudden I arise from the dead like this and I'm just ready and I'm in it.
Perfect. So do you have traditional Halloween watches in your household?
Yeah, and I feel like they're probably the ones you would expect, but there's a few that are just very like me that I just enjoy watching.
Yeah.
Like all the classics like Hocus Pocus. I mean, it's not October without a Hocus Pocus rewatch, in my opinion. I feel like
and two? Or just the first one?
it's just the first one. I mean, the second one was all right. I'm not gonna hit on it. It was good, but
not as classic as the first.
No, the first one, I don't know if it's because it's like nostalgia, probably is nostalgia, but the first one just hits in a way that the second one doesn't.
Love it.
So yeah, that one for sure. I definitely always rewatch Scream, the first one.
Must be done.
Usually the fourth one as well, actually. The fourth one and the first one, there's something to them. And then the Addams Family. The Addams Family,
Oh,
both
nice.
that the first one and the Values, Addams
Yeah.
Family Values, I always rewatch them. They're like the best films ever.
That's awesome. I haven't seen Hocus Pocus on in this household yet this year, which may mean that Martin's watched it when I've been out at a screening.
Good.
Even because I do enjoy it. He is the like diehard super fan more than I am. There's been a lot of Simpsons Halloween in our household, so that is always a tradition in our household, is watching the Treehouse of Horrors. But what's really funny is we've not done it sort of together this year. I started really early, like towards the end of September, and I watched them from like season 2, which is when the first one comes in, through to like season 4 million or whatever it is that it's on right now. Like I watched it from the oldest to the newest.
Yeah.
And it reverse. So he's like, no. Get me on this one. They get worse as they go on. So start with the most recent and then go back to when it's awesome. So when you get, and he's basically done it so that on Halloween he will watch the first one. And I'm like, that is pretty cool.
That's a really good way of doing it.
There's almost been like 2 a day. There'll be like the one that he watches on the big TV, which I'll be like, oh, Treehouse of Horrors on, and then I've been watching it in bed. So there's been a lot of Simpsons in our household. Not done any Scream yet this year. That might be an on Halloween. I've been rewatching the I Know What You Did Last Summer's, kind of in celebration of the new one being out on home video. But I've been rewatching those, which it's been cool because I loved those when they were first out, like both the first one and the second one. But I'd kind of forgotten about them over the years and not gone back to them as much as I'd gone back to Scream. But with the new I Know What You Did Last Summer having been out like this year, it's brought it all back to me that I'm like, oh, I just love these films.
Yeah, I really like. I've not seen the new one.
My next question is, have you seen the new one?
No, I've missed it. I can't remember why, because I like the first, like the old ones.
You know what? It actually wasn't that easy to find in the cinema. I had a lot of people, even like real like diehard horror friends who were big on that franchise, saying to me how much they were struggling or having to go out of their way, even living in London, to find a cinema that was showing it. I've just realised I have quite a lot of reflection on my glasses, so I'm going to de Clark Kent. I'm going to Superman the rest of this podcast. Yeah, so people really struggled, and we didn't see it until towards the end of its run, and we had to go like half an hour out of London to Bluewater Shopping Centre to a showcase to find it on. It was not easy to find, which is really sad.
That's strange to me because I would have assumed it would have been like everywhere. I wonder if maybe because of the time of year, and I don't know, maybe people don't want to watch horror in summer.
Yeah. I was really hoping there was going to be a press screening for it so I could go out and review it and I could make a bit more of a big bang of it and like promote it a bit more across the channels, but there wasn't one, which was doubly annoying because I'm a really big fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I like desperately tried to find like a deep cut reference to Ghost Whisperer, her TV show, which is also a good Halloween recommendation, that I could wear to a screening so I could be like, hey, check me out. But sadly, it never came to pass. But then in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which just made me love the character and love her even more. Julie James, this isn't a spoiler for any storyline or anything. She's obviously all a bit messed up from what's happened to her in the first 2 films. So where you find her in this new one, she's now like a psychology professor. But in the class, when you first see her and she's teaching a class, she's literally wearing a t-shirt that is my favorite album cover from The Cure. And I was just like, oh my God. Like if you weren't already like iconic enough, you are literally wearing Disintegration, which is my favorite Cure album. Like I love you even more. Anyway, sorry, that was weird.
No.
Cool. Well, I'm going to recommend that to you then as something that you should try and watch because it's on home video now, so you can pick it up on digital, nice and cheap. And it's probably discounted for Halloween as well. I Know What You Did Last Summer, definitely. I don't know if they're going to get a sequel because it didn't do that well. I really hope they do because it, no spoilers, but does set up what could happen in another one.
I have seen quite a lot of well, at the time when the film was coming out, I saw annoyingly like everyone on TikTok sharing like big moments throughout the film, and I kind of know what happens at the end, and it does look like it would do a really good sequel. So I hope they do one.
You know what? as much as there are friends of mine that have watched it and didn't really enjoy it so much. I always say the same thing to anyone that's like, oh, it's just it was crap. It's the only one of any of those slasher movies, like even with the screams and stuff, it's the only one where the killer, no spoilers, is a character that we already know.
Oh,
No other. If you go through all the screams, it's always somebody that is probably introduced in that film who you then kind of you're like, oh, it was them. Whereas without spoiling it, I Know What You Did Last Summer actually brings back someone and is like, oh, your past trauma led you to be the antagonist of this movie. It's amazing that no one's ever done it before.
that makes a lot of sense because in every Scream you're having to get used to a new cast almost, which is why
Yeah.
like the legacy characters are the standouts because you know
Yeah.
who they are. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense
It
actually.
would be like making Sydney the ghost face of a new movie, basically. But no one's done it in one of these big franchises, so that's kind of cool.
That is quite cool. I'm definitely gonna have to watch it.
Okay, so let's go with your favorite horror recommendations. Let's do these are the ones that you just have to watch, whether it's at Halloween or all year round, but should absolutely be watching this week.
Okay, so in terms of horror movies, I'd recommend. I've got like a list of like maybe 10, so
Yeah.
I'll roll them off.
Roll them
So-
off. You can dive deep into a couple.
So first one on the list is Sinners, which is obviously new.
Yeah.
I think of all the films I've seen this year, it's probably one of the best.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of horror, it's everything that I like about horror. It's really stylish and it's got lots of references and like lore, and the score's amazing and it just looks delicious. And yeah, it's just amazing. I love that film.
I have been listening to the score on vinyl. I picked it up. You can grab it from madebymutant.com, which is not a sponsorship notification. So they are a team of, they're quite a new team that do soundtrack vinyls and really cool artwork. It's basically people that used to work at Mondo before Mondo was bought by Funko. When they got bought by Funko, a lot of the company was kind of just broken up. And they sort of stopped doing some of the really cool, like limited edition vinyls that they were doing. So they just went and set up this new company called Mutant, madebymutant.com, who do I would go and grab it, but I won't. Vinyl limited edition, like picture discs, colored vinyls and stuff. And they did 2 albums for Sinners, one for Ludwig Göransson's score, and then one for the songs. And the one for the songs has got this really big book about some of the songs and the lyrics and the meaning behind it all. It's really cool. But it sounds just like, because of the movie and the period of the movie, when you put the vinyl on and just drop the needle down and get the crackle over the top of it, it's great recommendation. It's my
Thank you.
it's currently my number 2 film for this year.
Nice.
My number 1 movie for this year on Letterboxd is still the Hans Zimmer concert movie, which if you want to see me cry about it in another podcast, it is available. It's such an emotional experience. But Sinners is like my number 1 like scripted theatrical movie of this year.
Yeah, it just completely came out of nowhere for me. Like it wasn't a film that I was really aware of. I'd not watched any trailers for it. It just kind of appeared.
Actually, I hadn't thought about that for Halloween.
But it's just one of them where, like, if you've not seen it and you've heard everyone talk about it, I would recommend watching it now. I think it's so good for this time of year.
Amazing.
And then just a few, just to list them off. You'll notice maybe a theme here, but I think It Follows is easily one of the best horror films that's out there. It's really different. Probably one of the best horror films of like.
I haven't seen it.
Have you not? Okay,
No,
well, I won't spoil it.
I bought it for like $1.99 on digital. Going, I've never seen this. I need to buy it. And that was probably last Halloween, and I haven't watched it yet.
Well, you need to go watch it. Honestly, it's probably one of the best horror films, in my opinion, because it's. I don't want to give it away because there's too much. Like if I say anything, it'll ruin it. But to me, it's just really clever and really different.
Awesome.
So I would recommend that. Ready or Not and Scream. I think both of them films kind of come from the same. Oh, and Happy Death Day. There's obviously a theme there, like camp slasher, female-led. But all three of them
whatsoever.
All three of them I recommend to anyone that will hear it. I think Ready or Not is
coming soon, right?
Yeah, cannot wait. But yeah, Ready or Not I think is a really great recommendation because again it ticks all the boxes of like There's really good references. It's really well acted. It's
Yeah.
really funny, and it's quite surprising. Which I'm one of them people, annoyingly. I like to try and guess what's going to happen. And I remember watching that film, and I could have never have guessed what the ending would be.
Ooh.
Um, so yeah, and then House of Wax was on this list
Oh,
from
nice. Original
2000
or remake?
2000, the one with Paris Hilton in.
And
Mainly
Jared
because,
Padalecki? Doesn't it have Jared?
yes, I think so. I remember watching it and hearing everyone complain about it because I watched this film maybe 10 years ago when I was at
Yeah.
university, which sounds awful to say out loud.
I'm so
Um, but I remember watching it and everyone was like, oh, it's a crap film. And I loved it. I thought it was so camp and actually quite scary. So, yeah. And then I've got Hush and Creep on this list. Have you ever seen either of them?
Ooh, yes. Yes. Creep, amazing. Not seen
Creep.
that one in years.
But that and Creep 2 both are really creepy to live up to the name.
Yeah. Hush. I'm trying to think what Hush is. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It is, I believe it's a Netflix film. It
Mhm.
follows a woman that lives in a cabin in the woods and she's deaf. And a masked man basically invades her house and
Oh,
basically has to escape without
yeah.
being able to use her sound because she's deaf. So it's quite interesting. The dynamics of obviously like he can hear her, but she can't hear him. So like
Yeah.
the
Wow.
balance is off. So it's really good. It's a really good final girl movie, in my opinion, because like from the very beginning, the full film is just how is she going to get out, how is she going to escape,
Yeah.
and you think it would maybe get a bit boring, but it just keeps building and getting crazier, and yeah, it just keeps going, which is quite
Yeah.
impressive.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Would recommend. I believe it is a Netflix original. Maybe don't quote me on it though.
You just made me think of The Hunt. Have you ever seen The Hunt?
I have. I went to the cinema for that one again.
Which was probably one of the last films you saw before lockdown, I would imagine, because it was one of the last screenings I went to.
Yeah, it was like really close to lockdown. Is this officially the lockdown episode? It's come up twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually one of the last films I saw before COVID, and we all got locked inside. And I remember watching the trailer and being like, "This looks really dark." But then I don't know how you felt, but I thought it was quite camp and funny.
Yeah,
And
very,
I liked it a lot.
very. I think people didn't quite know how to take it, but the screening that I went to was packed and people loved it. In case you have not seen it, and I'm about to be joined by oh no, he's decided to go the other way up the desk. Thought Ollie was about to join us for a second there. It's directed by Craig Zobel. It stars Betty Gilpin, Hilary Swank, Emma Roberts, and Ike Barinholtz. Here we go. We got a little fluffy tail. You gonna say hello to the people at home? Black Cat, Halloween. What better timing? So in this subversive satire, a group of elites gather for the very first time at a remote manor house to hunt ordinary Americans for sport. But the elites' master plan is about to be derailed by one of the hunted. It's really fun. It kind of came out of nowhere. I really didn't know what to expect when I went in to see it, and I really enjoyed it. So definitely check that one out if you've not watched it. That's a good, if you're on like a Halloween date night or you've got somebody in the house that's not a massive fan of like being scared, but still wants to watch that kind of Halloween horror-ish type film, then it's a great recommendation for it.
Yeah, it almost walks the line of like that thriller horror. I'd say
Yeah.
like it definitely does walk more towards horror, but yeah, really good. And the ending, that like final showdown is honestly worth watching the full film.
So good.
It's
And
great.
again, really, really camp.
Yeah, really camp. And then the last one on my list of like horror-based recommendations is The Ritual.
Oh, you've got some good ones.
Thanks. I really spent some time thinking about it.
Nice. I like it. Why does this one make the list?
I
Other than
put
it
on the
being
list.
awesome.
I put on the list because I've only ever seen it once, but it stuck with me. I remember watching it,
All the sign of a good film.
and my friend recommended it, and I think we watched it as a group actually. I think there was the three of us, and I had no clue what I was getting into. I had no idea what the film was about, and I just remember at the end of it being like, "What the fuck was this film?" But in like a good way. Like it genuinely like just took so many turns, and Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen next, and I think that's a really good sign of a good horror film. At least that's
Yeah,
what I look for.
definitely.
So yeah, so without spoiling it, that's kind of why I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. That's a fine list of movies for Halloween.
Thank you.
I have not put that as much thought into it, but I do have plenty that I would recommend for this time of year because there are so many different ways you can go. It depends which kind of rabbit hole you want to go down. I have been craving, and I can't watch it when Martin's in the house because I'm not allowed. Hellraiser. Love a good Hellraiser movie. The only issue is that I can never really just sort of watch one, and I end up watching all like 7 or 8 of them, like right through the direct to DVD ones, which are progressively worse and worse and worse as they go along.
Yeah.
Apart from, and I'm gonna not remember which one it is until I've looked it up in the list. It is Hellraiser. Is it Bloodline? Oh, maybe it's one of the ones I don't own because some of them are really hard to get hold of. Basically, one of them is when you realize that they've hit the 2000s because suddenly it's like Cyber Hellraiser.
Okay.
And you know, in that, so it's 2005, Hellraiser Hellworld. You know, it's like cut from the sort of original Saw, slightly cybery, bit matrixy, all a bit weird. We suddenly got computers, kind of really generic, sort of early noughties horror.
Yeah.
It's got Henry Cavill in it when he's really young.
I have seen this actually. I was going to ask, is it the one with Henry Cavill in? 'Cause I
Yeah.
do vaguely remember it.
It's like, so the quality of the franchise just sort of goes like, and then just repeats for a bit of Henry Cavill. And then, you know, drops off until the most recent one. But I cannot recommend Hellraisers enough at this time of year. Like your Hellraisers, your Halloweens. But then one that I always really like to watch is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like Bram Stoker's, you can't kind of never underestimate the power of like a classic monster movie. So like I sat Martin down the other day to watch the 1937 Mummy film, which I don't think he'd seen before, like the black and white one. So Boris Karloff. And then we've been doing some of the like Hammer films and some of the other Universal monsters. But Bram Stoker's Dracula is another one as well. Like Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman, such like an amazing cast and a really, really great film for this time of year. Not scary, but still vampires, still horror, still very suspenseful. That's always a good one to watch. Please
That
tell
is
me
a really good
you've seen
addition.
Bram
I've
Stoker.
seen it.
Good.
I have indeed. It is really good.
I'm definitely feeling like a resurgence of vampire right now, which I don't know if that's because of Sinners or whether it's just it's been a while since we've had a really good one and we're just on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, I feel like between Sinners and Nosferatu, it's just kind of been.
And Abigail.
Abigail, I was going to say, that's a really good one as well that I would recommend. Abigail is amazing.
Yeah, such a good film. I'm just looking at what else is in my sort of collection in front of me, and I'm like, ooh, Blade. I could watch Blade at this time of year. Actually,
Yeah.
one that we do definitely need to talk about, which is the timing of it is a little bit frustrating, but you've got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which has been in the cinema and is on Netflix, but it's not on Netflix until the 7th of November, so after Halloween. But you should still be able to find it in some cinemas for Halloween. Not scary, but a really wonderful, huge Del Toro gothic fairy tale that is perfect for this time of year. Jacob Elordi in 11 hours worth of prosthetic makeup.
That's a commitment. I
And
don't
yet
know how to do it. It does look amazing though. Like that is on my like list of like most want to watch for this year. It looks so good.
As usual for Del Toro as well, it's all like practical set design. So they're these huge, like massively expansive sets. They're like, it's just crazy how big the construction is on some of it.
Yeah.
And if you're in London, there's an exhibit at the moment that you can go and check out as well, which is on until the 9th of November. Anniversary. So it's on until the 9th of November at Old Selfridges Hotel at the back of Oxford Street, just behind Selfridges, the store. It's a completely free exhibit of all the props and costumes and some of the miniatures. And it's so cool if you get a chance to go and watch the film to then go and look at it all, because the design work is just stunning and it's meticulous. But that's a really good like new one that a lot of people won't have seen that you can go out and find for Halloween this year.
Yeah. Do you know what? Speaking of films that I kind of have an inkling to watch again, are
Mm,
you familiar with like the Nightmare on Elm Street
yes.
world?
Remastered in 4K and dropping like right about now in a new box set.
I keep seeing on TikTok, the internet's kind of obsessed with the Freddy versus Jason that film, and it's kind of making me want to watch the films again. To be honest,
Yeah, I haven't done Nightmare Before Elm Street films in a long time. That's one that used to scare me quite a lot as a kid. My brother had a poster of Freddy Krueger that I used to just sort of like just look at it like, okay. But
love it.
that would be a good one to go back and rewatch as well. Um, I love this time. I love how horror kind of kicks in sort of September-ish time and runs through to the end of October into the beginning of November. So, like having had a new Conjuring film this year, which I really enjoyed, that's been really cool. I want to go back and watch that again as I've not seen it since the cinema. So that was what Conjuring Last Rites was, which
Mhm.
I'm sad to say goodbye to Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, but it was cool to see them just one last time on the big screen. Hammer just re-released The Curse of Frankenstein, which was their not their first color movie. That was the Sherwood Forest one that's coming out soon, but it was their first big horror. It's a big turning point for Hammer.
Mm.
It's got Christopher Lee in it and Peter Cushing. It was the first time the two of them appeared in a film together for Hammer, and they go on to be two massive stars of that entire Brit horror genre. But it's just been remastered in 4K. That was originally released in 57, I think it was. Looks so beautiful in 4K. You can go out and pick that up on digital and on 4K DVD as well. It's a good one if people are looking for a kind of real classic, especially if you're wanting to support Brit horror, like classic British horror at its best.
Very nice. I've not even heard of that. I'm gonna have to write it down and check it out.
Curse of Frankenstein. Yeah. Hammer horror is I just love Hammer. I grew up on watching a few of their films in kind of rerun. There was the kind of film that you get around this time of year on Channel 4, because they really started in the black and white era, but they didn't really go into horror until a little bit later on. So a lot of their stuff is in color, but that was where a lot of really famous British actors of that generation kind of came up. So like Peter Cushing, who goes on to be on the Death Star in A New Hope, Christopher Lee, who is just iconic as Dracula.
Yeah.
It's where all of those films come from, and it's great that you can see that there was a period of time where we were making better horror movies than America were. So they're all worth watching, and they're slowly going through their entire archive and remastering them in 4K and re-releasing them for whole new audiences to find.
Love that. Yeah, you're right. But I don't feel like British horror, it's not really a thing as much anymore. I feel like you are right. There
Yeah.
used to be like a really big, like it used to be quite big, or at least it felt that way, and you don't really see it anymore.
It's, we get the you get the odd one that breaks through every now and then. I'm just trying to think of. Oh, so Creep that you mentioned. In fact, that was what was that? That was 2004.
Yeah.
That was one that kind of broke through, and you just have these odd ones every now and then that do break through. But we don't have like Hammer was. I don't want to say churning them out because that sounds terrible, but they were doing like one or two of these movies every single year because that was their thing, and they just kept smashing it every single time. And we don't really have anyone doing that right now, which is kind of sad. But
Yeah.
see, now I really want to watch Creep.
It's so good. It is so good. Do you know what? You actually jogged my memory. One film that I didn't write down on my list, but when you were talking about the classics and going back, the remake of The Invisible Man with Elizabeth
Oh,
Moss.
yeah, and she's been talking again about potentially doing a sequel recently, which is really random.
Yeah, I don't know how. I'm
Yeah,
sure the film
that
ends
was
in
a
a
really
very,
good film as well.
yeah. The I just when you were talking about the classics, it just came to me. I was like, oh my god, this film is so good. So
Because that was
I'll
that
chuck
whole
that one
sort
in
of
there.
period where Universal were trying to figure out what to do with their monsters, and you had that dark universe with the Mummy that never became a universe
Yeah, yeah,
because
because like wasn't Angelina Jolie supposed to play? Yeah, they had like a whole plan,
Frankenstein.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did that cast photo where there was you had I'm going to say it's really bad, but I've forgotten her name that played the mummy. You had like Johnny Depp in there, you had Russell Crowe in there. They'd all been cast in these roles for different movies that were going to make up this universe. And then, they did. Was it Dracula Untold was going to be part of it as well? Maybe. And they came up with their branding and everything, and they had their like Marvel type logo that was going to go before it all, and then it just crumbled like instantly because that Mummy film didn't do very well. But yeah, then The Invisible Man happened, which was a really great film.
Yeah, that one stuck with me for a while. It's such a good one.
Tell you what, I've not
again-
watched Megan 2. I was just thinking about Blumhouse because they were involved with The Invisible Man, and I got Megan in front of me on my list. I still haven't seen Megan 2. I just don't know. I've heard so many bad things.
I've seen it, and I think it depends on. Well, for one, it steps away from the horror genre, and it goes more into like T2, like Terminator energy.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but if you was a fan of Megan for it being a horror, then you're not probably going to love it. But I liked it because it was really like camp and stupid. And I mean that with love. Like I say that in like an endearing way. Like it was genuinely quite funny. So yeah, I don't know if it's a Halloween recommendation other than maybe the first one is.
This is going to be my last one. So before we move on to our sort of non-horror recommendations, The Ring. Either the Japanese. Oh, okay. So The Ring, either the Japanese or the American, and The Grudge, either the Japanese or the American, because in both cases, both versions are incredible.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I remember as a kid, my friend had The Ring as like it was a video or a DVD. And I remember it used to like looking at it used to creep me out because we'd watched the film and it really scared me. And I was like, I don't want to look at it in case I didn't like it. And it always stuck with me as like a really freaky film.
So that came out in 2002. Don't tell me how old you were. I was in first year of uni in 2003. And so if you had that DVD, one of the bonus features, and I think it might have been a hidden one, I loved the days when there were hidden bonus features on DVDs. I'm so old. The video. So that you would watch, that you would die in 7 days. And I can't tell you how many times I would just like lure people to like step into my room in halls. And I just press play on that video on my TV so that they would just freak out. I'm a horrible, horrible human being that scared a lot of people and traumatized a lot of people with that
That's
video.
a good prank, though. Yeah, that would scare the actual life out of me.
That is one of the films I've probably seen the most in my life, which may explain a lot about who I am as a person. That film also massively influenced a lot of the work that I did when I was doing my film degree. Like the era. I was talking about this with one of my uni friends the other day because I've been rewatching the Underworld franchise, which is another one that you have to do at this time of year. The era of the blue filter is just like that's peak cinema to me. Era of the blue filter is just beautiful. I love it. It's just the best.
It is really good. I like all of the marketing was green. Do you remember that? Where like every poster was just green.
Yeah. But then, you've got The Grudge as well, which is also just another amazing one. I've never read. I think that one's also based on a book. I've read a lot of the books in the Ring series, and they're actually, if you want to dive deeper into it, they're really interesting books. So I highly recommend them because each one spins it in a different direction, like from supernatural to something a bit more sort of sci-fi in places to then even becoming a bit medical, which is really interesting. The author spins it in some interesting directions, but The Grudge is just a great one as well. And I used to do a really good impression of the noise, but I haven't done it in years, so I'm not going to try because I will just like fall flat on my face. But again, I have scared many a friend by just like in a dark room, just doing that like crackling noise of what the kid makes in The Grudge.
That's terrifying.
That was such a Japanese horror was such a massive movement as well when that happened. When that hit, like when The Ring hit and all that entire period of time was so good for horror.
Yeah, I need to get into it. It's been a while. I remember again watching it as a kid, way too young for one, just for the benefit of the tape, way too young. But yeah, I need to rewatch them. It's been a while.
I was going to talk a bit about the new Predator film as well, because I kind of, if you've seen my tweet reaction to it, I do say it's kind of stepped away from horror a little bit, but it's still, as I'm talking about this and as this podcast is going to drop, it's still going to be under embargo, so I'm going to have to save it for another day. But if you are kind of a fan of that franchise and its sort of suspense thriller sort of nature, then there's a brand new one of those that you're going to be able to check out, but not until 7th of November, and I can't talk about it just yet. Let's do some slightly more non-horror recommendations that's better for those people that do not like the scares at this time of year. What have you put on your list for this one?
So obviously Hocus Pocus,
Brilliant
and
one.
the Addams Family.
Yep.
But Coraline.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
I feel like Coraline, I mean, it's a classic in my eyes. It's so good and it's so creepy. And then also, I was talking about this at work the other day. Have you ever seen the film Monster House?
That's a CGI animated one, right? Like 3D animated. Yeah.
It's similar to Coraline, like visually. That's really good too. It's not one I've watched in a while, but it is. I remember it being really good. I could be wrong. I could rewatch it
for a little while. I did see Paranorman at the cinema at the weekend, which was obviously another Leica one. It's weird because it's not like it's a big anniversary year because it came out in 2012, I think it was, or 2013. But Paranorman is back in cinemas, I think in the US as well as the UK at the moment, with a new 4K remaster. But what I had forgotten is that if you do go see it in the cinema, it's also got a short as a new animated sequel short that plays before it, which was really cool because it's a film that I've always wished that they would do a sequel to. And Mondo have just released a really sexy version of the soundtrack, which I'm waiting to deliver from the US. But that's a good shout. Coraline's a wonderful one for this time of year. All of those kind of stop motion animation ones like Nightmare Before Christmas. I know that can be controversial on what time of year you want to watch it. That's a great shout.
Very good. Jennifer's Body.
I'm gonna be honest, never seen it.
Have you not? That's really surprising.
I know. Yeah. Don't know how I've never seen it, but I haven't. But I know it's a lot of people. That's a cult classic. That's cult classic.
Yeah. I was one of them weirdos that liked it when it first came out and nobody really rated it. So I've been with it for a while.
You were ahead of the curve there because now everyone does. So
yeah, I mean, sapphic vampire horror. What more could you possibly want?
Yeah.
And
it's another one that they're talking about sequels for now as well, are they not? I'm sure I've seen Megan Fox talk about potentially doing a sequel.
Yeah, and it ends in a way that does set up a sequel, but in a really, it's going to be strange how they do it. So I'm curious how they're going to get around.
Okay. I'm going to put that on the watch list. I will finally take that one off.
Yeah, watch that and It Follows.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's a few other classics like Beetlejuice. I mean,
how did I go wrong? Tickets available now for the West End version, which is kicking off in May next year, I think it is. They're finally bringing the musical over from Broadway to the UK. People have been asking for it for years.
Love that. Might have to buy tickets. But yeah, Beetlejuice. And then the last one on my list was Halloween Town.
Oh, have I seen that?
It's like a whole series of like Halloween Town films. If I remember correctly, it is like a Disney Channel movie and it has Debbie Reynolds in it, if I'm not mistaken.
The poster art, yes, it is Debbie Reynolds. The poster art is very familiar, but I'm quite sure I've not seen it. Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
Yeah, I mean, this one is a pure nostalgia play because I remember watching it on the Disney Channel as a kid, and I probably haven't seen it in like 10 years, but I just remember it being really sweet. And I'm going to be watching this Halloween.
The poster artwork. First came out on October the 17th, 1998.
Damn. So yeah, so those are my non-horror recommendations.
So mine would all be related to the t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. I've been watching so much Scooby-Doo. It's always been a bit of a tradition of mine to watch the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, which is not the most obvious one from his back catalogue. But I love it because it's got the voice of Vincent Price in it, known to many as Egghead from Batman 66. Or, I mean, his voice is just synonymous with Halloween. But it does have Scrappy-Doo in it, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's a funny one about actual real ghosts being set out, and Scooby and Daphne have I just added an extra syllable into her name there. Definitely have to go out and recapture the ghosts and kind of put them back into Pandora's box. But I was feeling extra nostalgic this year, so I picked up the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You cartoon. Right, so that's the one that goes right the way back to the beginning from the 60s. The first two seasons are kind of 67, 68, and then it jumped a little bit. For some reason, the third season didn't come along until the mid 70s. But I'm nearly at the end of the third season, so I've nearly watched all of it. And those are episodes that I genuinely haven't seen since I was a kid, and that's been really fun to go back. It's funny how much I remember, which is also really scary. But I think a lot of my non-horror kind of recommendations are things like the Scooby-Doos and stuff like that, because it's just fun and takes me back to being a kid.
Yeah, as you said that, I immediately thought of the Scooby-Doo. I think it's the film with the hex girls in it. I mean, not to be
Yep, people
super
love that one.
cliche, but modeled my entire personality after someone. So
There's also
know.
that same kind of direct-to-video series that has the Hex Girls one in it. There's also Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which basically Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is considered like the Batman Mask of the Phantasm of the Scooby-Doo world. It's like the movie that people cite as being the best one. I've been rewatching the live action ones as well. So like the with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. Even the second one, which I know didn't do as well at the cinema, I still really, really enjoy going back and rewatching it. And then it's always funny when you show it to someone and they're like, "This was written by James Gunn." What? Like, yeah, he wrote both of them.
I love them films. The first one specifically, that opening scene where Daphne is on the shoulder of the ghost and she comes flying through the glass, is something that I just think of. Like,
Would you like a fun fact?
go on.
I can do fun fact. That's not actually her.
Who is it?
It's not Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sarah Michelle Gellar does the bit where her head pops out from all the like dolls once they've when they fall and they crash into all of those dolls, and then she's like lying there when they pull the head off the ghost. But she was still filming season 3 of Buffy. This is fair play to her and her work ethic even back then. So she was filming Buffy Monday to Friday, then getting on a plane from California to Sydney because they shot in Australia, like Friday night, straight into Daphne makeup, shoot for a couple of days, and then fly back and do Buffy for like 6 weeks. So some of those bits where you don't see Daphne's face, or it's like the back of Daphne, are not Sarah Michelle Gellar in that film.
Just a stand-in.
Brilliant moment. And like Pamela Anderson, random cameo, and it's just also it's so of its time. It's brilliant.
It's great. Would you ever want them to make a third one?
Yes.
Me too.
Okay, right. Hear me out. Obviously, James Gunn wrote both of them. Scooby-Doo is owned by Warner Brothers. Scooby-Doo comic books are published by DC. There are a number of very, very good, both animated and comic book crossovers between Scooby-Doo and Batman.
Exactly.
Make it. Just make that movie DC Studios.
Yeah. Please.
Go on.
I was going to say, I think James Gunn spoke about wanting to do like an R-rated version or like a more adult one. That would be good too. I think that'd be funny.
He was actually going to direct a third one, but because the second one didn't do as well, not that it didn't do badly, but it just didn't do as well. Because it didn't do as well, they didn't end up making it. But he would have actually directed, and it would have been one of his first like big directorial features if they'd gone on and made a third one.
Wow.
Could have been a very different trajectory for him. But the other funny thing about it is you go back to it and you're like, oh, it's another ensemble movie with a kind of talking CGI animal. That really is like his shtick. Like even back before he was a famous name.
Yeah, he found his niche from the very beginning and just ran with it.
Yeah. I was just going to say, bubbled in the back of my mind as we were talking just then, Corpse Bride. With you talking about Coraline and then mentioning Paranorman, Corpse Bride is another good one for this time of year. And also just, that's just had another anniversary. So was it 25 or 30 years this year? Don't want to remember. But they've just re-released it in 4K with a really beautiful remaster to celebrate the fact that it's just hit a milestone year. So that's had a massive upgrade and looks. It's a film that I've watched loads and loads of times over the years because it's Tim Burton. But even for me, seeing it in 4K, there's so many new like fine details that I just hadn't spotted before. It's really cool.
Love that. Anything Tim Burton, I think, is just perfect for October.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are there any more for any more while I'm thinking. No, I think that's most like it's all animated stuff for me. It's that stuff that takes you back to being a kid and what you used to watch when scary movies were sort of off the table.
Yeah, yeah. Animation is something that, yeah, it holds like a really big space to me. Like non-horror specific. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Scooby Doo
Yeah.
is a really good recommendation, and The Simpsons, Treehouse
Yeah.
of Horror.
So when I was genuinely when I was a kid, like because I mean I was probably too young for the fact like people around here do trick or treat, like in where we live in London there are trick or treaters, but when I was
That's
a
cute.
kid that was before really it had kind of crossed over from the US to here. Like people knew what it was, but no one did it. But then at the same time, where my parents lived, we were like a mile in any direction to another house. Never mind like actual civilization. So Halloween was never really about like parties or anything like that. It was like what I'm carving a pumpkin and what am I watching on TV? And when I was like 6, 7, it was, Simpsons, Scooby Doo. So
Yeah.
do you know what? This is going to be really deep cut. And I feel like I've talked about this on something before, and the only way you'll find it is YouTube. But if you are wanting to watch something completely randomly nostalgic but fits with Halloween, one of my favorite cartoons as a kid was a show called Gravedale High. No,
Riverdale
barely
High.
anyone has heard of it because I'm looking it up. It was made in 1990. So, all right, before you were born. Um, it was only has 13 episodes. It is a show around the misadventures of human teacher Max Schneider, who was unwittingly taken a job at Gravedale High, a school for monsters near the city of Midtown. He's the only human in the school and presides over a group of ghoulish teenagers who are the latest generation of classic movie monsters. So the teacher's voiced by Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And then you've got like Vinnie Stoker, who is a vampire, who's one of the kids. Frankentyke, voiced by Frank Welker, who is like the voice of like goes back to Scooby-Doo and all the classic cartoons. Who's like the Frankenstein. Reggie Moonshroud, who is a werewolf. J.P. Ghastly III, who is a blue-skinned gnome-like monster. Jill Waterman, who is a creature from the Black Lagoon. Cleopatra, who is an obese and somewhat nerdy mummy. So let's go with it's not the most PC of things, but it is 1990. And Sid, who is based on the Invisible Man. Oh, and Blanche, who is a zombie. So you can only find it on YouTube. It's never been released. It wasn't that popular. It did come over to the UK, but it's a really fun cartoon with an awesome theme tune. So just look that up on YouTube as a random little Halloween Easter egg because it's a fun one.
Love that. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I'm gonna make a note of that.
Yeah, honestly, I say it to people and they're like, what? Every now and then I'll say it to someone and they'll just go, oh my God, I remember that. And I'm like, yes, instant best friend.
I love you.
Exactly. So I know you made a list of horrors that you'd missed or not watched, and we've mentioned a couple of them. What else? Have you got anything else that was on that list? I'm really keen to know what you're about to say that I might have seen that I can be like, yeah, watch it.
I feel like there's a few in here that you're probably going to be a bit disappointed that I've not seen yet.
But then
they're quite good ones.
There might be real pressure that you're going to say something, and I'm going to be like, oh, I haven't seen that either.
Well, number one is Weapons.
I am very mixed on this film.
Okay, explain.
So I have seen it. It will definitely tick the box on that like campiness that we've kind of talked about a bit because the protagonist is like inherently the campest thing in the film. Just something about the premise doesn't quite work, but I won't say anything because it will spoil it. I am on the fence with it. Some people love it. Some people really didn't like it. I'm kind of very much in the middle on it.
That's interesting. I've not heard anyone have like that kind of take, to be fair. I've only ever seen people like die hard for it or don't care for it at all. So it's interesting that you sit in the middle.
It's got some really interesting lore. It's got a really great cast, but something about the sort of the first half of the movie does not line up with the very end of the movie, which I don't want to spoil.
Okay.
And then I don't know, there's just a bit of a weird disconnect between the different bits of it that just doesn't quite work for me.
Interesting. Okay,
we will circle back on this once you've watched it.
Okay. The next one is The Substance.
Again, I was on the fence.
Okay, please
Yeah.
explain.
Okay. I'm living on the fence. I'm living on the fence. Demi Moore, amazing. Like
Icon.
really, again, this totally ticks the camp box. Demi Moore is absolutely amazing in it. I can't remember the other girl's name.
Margaret Qualley.
Yep. Is also really good in it. Separately, they are both really, really good in the roles. This one, it is. Do you know what? This is really terrible. Like the creature effects are amazing. The idea is great, but for me, it feels like someone had an idea and went, "This is awesome. My idea is this," and a studio went, "Cool, make it," and then they didn't quite think through the law enough. So again, we'll circle back on it once you've watched it, but there are some elements of the whole idea of what she's doing to herself that I'm like, that's pointless. Like,
Okay.
you would look at that and you would go, "Oh, I'm not gaining anything out of this. Why am I bothering?" But conversation for another day.
That is interesting.
Sorry, I'm
I
not.
know,
I'm
living on
just
the fence.
I'm just crapping on this list. Keep going.
Um, this one, I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's relatively new, but it's that film called Good Boy that follows the dog.
Oh,
Have you heard of
okay. So I
this?
have not seen this, but I have heard nothing but good things.
Me too, and I quite like the concept of it. I think it sounds a bit different, which
Yep.
I'm all for.
Yep.
Next one is Evil Dead Rise.
Ooh, really good film.
It looks it. I just don't know
Yeah.
why. I
You'll
saw one
never look at a
spoiler,
cheese
which
grater the same way after you've watched it.
I was going to say that is the only spoiler I've seen for the entire film, and it makes me feel so sick every time I see it.
You know what? Okay, right. So they did an amazing screening for it. I got to go to a press screening for it, and it was at this really like vibey cinema in Battersea Power Station up in one of the towers. And they did like it was sometimes with horror they really push the boat out for events, so it was like an immersive screening. So everyone
That's
was
cool.
in this like drinks reception for it beforehand, not knowing that certain people that were in the room were actors. So at one point, someone that was sitting at the bar just started coughing up blood and glass, and then they turned into a deadite in front of us, and we just thought it was someone like sitting at the bar in this drinks reception. Um, and then they like leap over the bar and start turning people in the like kitchen area behind the bar, and then there's deadites running around, and it was awesome. But they also gave us all a tiny cheese grater, like the little versions that you get for like chocolate.
Yeah,
They gave us all mini graters.
that's really cool. I mean, if I saw someone start throwing up blood and glass at the bar, I'd start crying. But you know, I'm
No,
going to have a good
I'm done.
time.
I'm done. Bye.
I've got the train to catch. I'm leaving.
It is also, but genuinely, it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it, and I want them to make more in that franchise with that director because the vision is great.
It looks really cool. I've obviously not seen it, but the one thing I have seen, minus the cheeseburger, is the opening credits. I'm a sucker for a themed opening credit,
Yeah,
and I loved it. I've seen it, and it looks really cool.
yeah.
So yeah, so Weapons, Substance, Good Boy, Evil Dead Rise, Nosferatu.
Yep.
Not seeing it, and then Talk to Me.
Yes, have not seen it. I
Yeah,
was away when it came out. I think it came out it was like a summer release here, and I think it was when I was away in San Diego, and I just never got around to it. But great filmmakers, great filmmakers.
I've seen it on a lot of people's like letterbox, like top
Yeah,
films of the year. So I think it's one to check out for sure.
yeah, definitely. That's a really good list.
Thank you. And then one for the list that I haven't seen, but I should be seeing on Friday is Emma Stone's new movie. I can't pronounce it.
Oh,
Begonia.
Begonia.
Yes.
Um, Lorgos Yorgos Lanthimos. I haven't seen it either. I was on I was on the fence with his last one. I love the style of his movies.
Mm.
So I'm interested to see it. I don't know if I'll catch it at the cinema or if I'll catch it when it's on home video, but I will eventually. But very interested by that one and what the twist is going to be.
Me too. That's actually going to be my Halloween film. I'm going to go to the cinema to watch that. So I'm hoping it's good.
Love it. That's a really good list.
Thank you. I feel like I'm quite proud of it.
As you should. I don't have a list. So maybe we'll just wrap it up there because that feels like a great place to end the conversation. Before we wrap up, I need to tell you about all the different things that you can stream this month as well. You've got things like VHS Halloween, which has just dropped on Shudder, which Matt has reviewed. It's the latest movie in that very, very... Have you watched any of the VHS movies? Long-running
No, not
franchise.
yet.
They're all anthology pieces about different... They bring in different directors and they do these short, horrific pieces, which are now kind of themed. So this year is VHS Halloween. If you're looking for something a little bit more campy, you've got continued episodes of... Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans Season 2 rolling out every Tuesday on Shudder. They are also dropping a new original documentary series called Guts and Glory this month. Over on Arrow, there is also plenty of horror this month. I realize that I have opened their November listing in front of me, which is not very much use when we want October. I also, though, need to tell you about what is on Studio Canal Presents this month, because they have a really cool lineup of horror stuff, which is available through them. They have just streamed Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead Rise, Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, Plague of Zombies, and a look back at the others, which is a new documentary about the 2001 BAFTA-nominated period film starring Nicole Kidman and Christopher Eccleston. There is loads of horror stuff available on streaming at the moment. We've curated a whole list of them, which you can go and check out over on the website. So please do go check those out. That's there under all the usual listings. If you look up Shudder Prime, you can check out what all of them are doing for Halloween this year. I think we've given you a lot to think about there as to different things to watch. We've given you some animation, we've given you some family friendly, we've given you horrific, we have given you zombies, vampires, slashers, ghosts.
Oh my.
I think we've ticked every box.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered all areas of the horror genre and any horror adjacent.
Yes, horror adjacent genre. Let us know what you are going to be watching this Halloween. Drop us a comment or let us know after the fact what you watched. On what you're watching on Day of the Dead afterwards as well, because it's always, that's my day to watch Coco is Day of the Dead, the morning after Halloween, which I know is really sad, but that is my complete like post-Halloween tradition, is watch Coco.
That's such a, that film.
Exactly.
My God, I've never seen a film like it. I was in genuine tears the first time I saw it. I don't know if I can do that again.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. That day is weirdly, that post Halloween day has sort of taken on a new meaning for me in the last few years. So I like to keep with the theme, but make it a bit more wholesome. So
that's sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, let us know what you're watching in the comments, and please make sure to follow us, like us every channel at Get Your Comic Con. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me at The Digital Spiral on Instagram, TikTok, and anywhere else.
And likewise, you can find me at Neil Vag on all major platforms, all of them various that they might be. And we will be back very soon. Plan is that you will have Aaron and I talking about Frankenstein at some point, probably closer to its Netflix release. It's a really difficult one. Like I was saying about it being in the cinema, but then not on Netflix until beginning of November, because it's only in a few cinemas. Not many people have seen it. So we didn't want to start doing like a massive like spoiler discussion on it, because it feels rude to spoil it until people have had much of a chance to watch it.
Yeah, it feels a bit early, you know.
Yeah, because like when I went to the exhibition, I got to go to press night for the exhibition, and you could see Jacob Elordi's full like makeup and everything, like the full costume that he wears for different bits of the film, but also the full prosthetics. And I had seen the film before going to it, because the rule was that you couldn't go to press night without having seen the film, so it was fine because nothing was spoiled for me. But the press night was before the film was even in the cinema, and it was like, go share all your content, and it's like, but I don't want to spoil it, because they hadn't even released a photo. They like no photos were out of his full costume, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to be the one to be like, hey, guess what? This is what he looks like.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to go deep into it, ready for its release on Netflix. So that is going to be what's coming up next. Meantime, make sure to head over to our website, which is www.getyourcomiccon.co.uk, for all the latest news and reviews and everything. You've got a brand new Harley book to review next week.
I do. Oh, speaking of themed, the Something You Killing Your Children, that's a really good recommendation for October.
Read. Yeah.
So if you don't want a film and you want a comic, check that out.
Oh, nicely done. And soon to be a movie and an adult animated TV show as well, as we have found out in the last week or so.
We have perfect timing to go and check in.
Yeah. So yeah, we will see you very soon. Stay safe, stay well. Bye. Thanks for watching, Super Friends. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button just down below and hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever we release brand new videos. In fact, there's 2 more waiting for you to watch right here below. So what are you waiting for? Why not click play?